Okay. Well, that was quite strange. And I guess this is all I had to do was to, I don't know, log back in the room. Well, here I am, and I don't know if I really have the capacity to really do another reading. Hi, Zara, Eversol. I don't know if I have the capacity to do another read through. That was really bizarre. Hey, Marshall, come on up, man. Uh, hey, I don't know what happened, guys. There was a crazy malfunction. Dude. It was wild.
It's all good, brother. Technical problems kind of follow me around. I used to be in IT security. I think there's still some rogue hackers out there trying to get their jollies.
Well, you never know. It was pretty interesting. The solution was easy to get back on, but it took a while for me to think about it. It was, dude, I uninstalled the app and restarted my device, and then I installed the app again, and when I opened it up again, it was still malfunctioning, and it was it was showing me as if I was somebody on the outside coming across my show, like how you can swipe through the shows.
Right. You have to make sure also that what you do is before you uninstall the app, you need to go into the app to the settings if you're an Android person and dump the cache memory and stuff like that directly from the app in the settings
Uh,
before you uninstall it, then uninstall it and reinstall. Just for technical advice.
okay, I'm gonna have to do some device hygiene in a little bit here. Thanks for that tip. I need to think about stuff like that more.
Actually got
So,
laid off. I was a advanced repair agent at Geek Squad. Actually, I got laid off whenever COVID hit. They laid off the whole squad.
wow, the whole Geek Squad got laid off, huh?
Yep. And then this is over in the Austin, Texas area. So whenever they went to offer me my job back, I'm like, y'all had me for months without this. Like I can't come back now. I'm already in Florida because I ain't got no money. I'm staying at my parents.
Part of, do you mind
They're like
saying where are you in Florida?
in Bellevue,
I don't know if I know where that is.
small
Huh.
town south of
All
Dallas.
right. I used to live down in Florida, but South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale and Homestead areas, all the way through there.
I know Homestead.
Coral
I know South
Gables,
Florida too. Yeah, I know where it's
yeah,
at.
University of Miami, all that, yeah. So, um, you know, you were just about to get into something, and you were talking about the we were talking about the integration of different metals. Um,
Oh yeah, Uncle Sam doesn't want us to talk about that, so we might as well switch the topic because they'll glitch the whole app out before he lets me talk about theoretical materials.
yeah,
So
because that
that
was
was like that
pretty,
was like a hint. That was like a hint from they're like,
yeah,
nah, you don't talk about that.
that was pretty spot on.
Well, shit,
It was just like,
bro. I
hey,
was put it like this. You know how you know you're googling the wrong thing because you're sitting there and you download a PDF and you're like your whole entire computer shuts
and it's
off.
blank.
Yeah, your computer blank,
Yeah,
bro. Like
I've
finger
had
of God. Like boop, your computer don't work no more. Boop.
yeah, I've had some funky malfunctions in air quotes.
Yeah,
Tyrannosaurus
technical
Eversol.
problem.
So now we have Zara Eversol and Tyrannosaurus Eversol. Those are some cool names, people. I don't know,
That is cool.
but wait a minute.
So what got you interested in physics initially?
Um, Metaphysics actually got me into physics because all these people were talking about. you know, metaphysics and how it's the foundation for everything, and but the word physics was in it. And so I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out what all this is about. This word meta, and then it's attached to the word physics. Now I have to look at the root of the word physics, and so that's what happened. I started looking up the definitions of word and being like a thesaurus, and then that
That's how I started too,
led me
brother.
to looking at the history of physics because when I'm sure you've seen that in most standard physics books or physics books, even if you get them from like a Barnes and Noble's bookstore or something, they follow the same line. They tell you the history. They go through Newton and different people, and it's always like the same order, and they show how one idea was built off of another and another and another. And it's really cool to see how, like for example, James Clerk Maxwell, how he came up with his equations. There were three other equations that already existed, and he came up with a fourth one and was able to describe the field strength and size of the electric field and the magnetic field. And it's like, and what I found really fascinating too is that at the end of the first treatise, because there's two treatises on electricity and magnetism, right? From James Clerk Maxwell,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
that's what they based Maxwell's equations are synonymous with electromagnetism.
yeah, and so at the end of his first treatise on electricity and magnetism, he was saying, he says my whole aim in this entire treatise was to try to impart to the reader the existence of an ether that propagates these different uh, fields and forces. And
I call it the space between the space.
yeah, so yeah, he was just saying that that's like his whole aim. He's like, in this whole entire treatise, I'm trying to impart to the reader, the existence of this ether upon which these forces propagate. And I'm like, man, he's really,
I, I think honestly, I think that what they consider ether is actually dark matter. Like, is
could
like
be.
because it can exist in space, but yet we've only been able to theoretically prove its existence because, and this is what I say about physics. See, this is the problem with when it comes to experimentation in physics, that we are behind in sensor technology. So, like for
Hmm,
instance, like a tachyon,
that's, agree
a
with
tach
that.
a tachyon is only a theoretical particle be, because we don't have the sensors technology to be able to detect them because they're such
Because
right because they
we
have
don't have control over tachyons. If we
well
had
it's
something to
more
fire fast
because
enough
of
to
the weight
detect it,
it's well see because we judge it because they're faster than photons. Tachyons are faster than photons, so
yeah,
we don't have the sensor
right.
technology to be able to do that because everything we have is based on photon sensors.
Photons, yeah. So we can't detect it. Like, you can detect almost anything with different frequencies of photons for the most part. But if it's going faster, there's no
Right,
way to deflect off of anything. Because isn't that really what most of our sensor
right.
technology is based off, is basically deflection.
Yeah, well, yeah, that and also there's like photon coupling stuff like that
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, that and
but
like and see like there's just so you have harmonic
yep.
magnetism, and then you have
Hmm.
like photons. So with those three elements, like you can detect pretty much any.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, the LHC. That's all you need in there. I mean, everything is steered.
Actually, I have a so check this out. You would love it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if we were like lived in the same town, I would let you borrow this book. Like, so this book is called The Introduction to High Energy Physics. It was written by a
Yeah.
guy at the end of his career, and it's personally signed by him. and he worked at the LHC like as like one of the chief program directors. Like it's all about yeah, like the technology of it, like that, all of the discoveries they had like that, and like whenever they discovered the Higgs boson, and oh man, great. Like it's like
um,
I was like, this is an introduction. Like if this is an introduction, like I don't know if I'm ready for the final yet. Like because that's how good it was.
right.
Like why did you name it introduction? Like that's a misleading title, you know?
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
advanced. You're like, why would you name
There's
it introduction?
yeah. I've seen some books like that, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is definitely a misnomer here. Um, you know, one book that's not a misnomer though is there's an author named Stan Gabilisco, and he's written two books that are two of my favorite books. One of them is called Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics, and the other one is Mastering Technical Mathematics. And the dude's a brilliant author in the way that he structures his books and builds them up from the most basic concepts up to advanced, uh, not only calculations, but using Arduino and different things for programming and creating augmented reality. I mean, it's fascinating. Have you ever heard of that author, Stan Gabilisco?
Well, no, not personally, but I
Okay.
stay away from the mathematics side of physics because of and statistical physics because of the fact that whenever you because like what I said, whenever you start out in theoretical physics, like you can get bogged down for a whole entire lifetime, like living 70 years of your life. Like you can get bogged down a whole entire lifetime just dealing with the math of physics and not actually making any theoretical groundbreaking work, like just by trying to deal with the math of physics and trying to fix some of the like things, the way you compute statistical like anomalous quantum micro quantum phenomena, stuff like that that exist inside
So
statistics.
the thing is so what you're basically saying then is that because um, of the calculating that people get kind of stuck into an analysis paralysis instead of actually
Almost.
but because Einstein, he wasn't really that good at math. He almost failed out of, supposedly, as the story goes historically, and he had to have people help him with math. As a matter of fact, Minkowski, with the Einstein-Minkowski equation, when Minkowski was on the battlefield, I think, and he scribbled out Einstein's equations and I guess proved mathematically that you can create a singularity with a extremely small but dense object, right? Um, his name was
Well,
Minkowski, right?
right, but the
Yeah.
same thing Einstein also said. He's noted for saying that energy can be infinitely dense, and I think that statement is super.
Yeah.
See, that statement is like it's taken very lightly, but when you think about the fact of infinite density, like that goes beyond like see that is like almost like a leg to stand on that a universe can exist with inside a universe because of that infinite because of the ability of infinite
Right. Yep. Infinite density and but I'm still. Oh yeah, that's right. They called it Minkowskian space-time um, because of the proving the existence of wormholes. And you know what I can't. I think it was. Um, I know it's a little bit not directly related, but it has to do with Einstein and we were talking about earlier before we had a little malfunction with the app um, about how Einstein called entanglement spooky action at a distance. And do
right.
you know about the story with the guys, the experimenters Michelson and Morley, where they wanted to disprove the ether, and so they do you know about this one, the Michelson-Morley experiments?
Not offhand, but like if you
Okay.
the more you mention, I'll be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
They wanted to test, you know, the theory that there might be an ether, and so um, they, because of the rotation of the Earth, they fired a laser beam out in one direction and against the rotation of the Earth, I believe. But I'm not sure. I have to look up that experiment. Um, but anyway, the results were such that they saw that there was no perturbation of any kind. Like, for example, if there was like a wind, and if any,
Yeah, I know what perturbation means.
yeah.
I know
So
what that means.
yeah, if there was no, but I mean like perturbation from,
There's no
yeah,
interference
exactly. Yeah, no interference of any kind.
or deviance,
Yes, there you
or
go. It's even better. That's a better
deviation,
term. Yep.
deviation.
Yeah, so there was no
Yep.
deviation. And anyway, I was just curious if you familiar with that. Um, and then you were talking about tachyons a little bit earlier, and particles
Um,
faster than the speed of light.
so I have a I have a love affair with tachyons, bro. Actually, I think that once we discover tachyons, that actually tachyon fusion will be a thing. And the thing about, check this out. This is what's blow your mind, is that once you're able to fuse tachyons, theoretically, you actually could construct a device that you could see forward, and you could see like 15 minutes into the future in space time, theoretically,
I mean,
because they would be traveling faster than your current state of the
see,
universe
okay,
around you,
that's an interesting concept about the ability to,
because they're fused.
right.
Because they're fused, so they're like, it's like a fusion
So
is
this
different
fusion
from
is
entanglement.
entanglement? Yeah, okay.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's similar. It's like a stronger version of entanglement, like the strong force that holds together
Okay.
the nucleus of an atom.
So a stronger version of entanglement, sort of like how the strong nuclear force is similar to electromagnetism, but at much
Hmm.
smaller distances, but much stronger.
Right,
Entanglement. And what do you call that?
right.
So
Very
it's not
similar.
entanglement, it's a fusion,
Ta-
tachyon fusion,
yeah,
tachyon
tachyon
fusion.
fusion.
Well, and what would and what? Okay, so huh? Okay, because the speed that it's moving, you'll be able to see. You said 15 seconds or 15 minutes into the future. Of course,
Well,
it's
theoretically,
approximation,
but
right?
like I said, because I'm not, yeah, because like I said, I'm not a math guy. Like my math actually
Yeah.
stopped at algebra. Like
Mm.
I would be like the Einstein that they had to like, bring me a cheerleader to make it do math. You know what
Right,
I
right,
mean?
right. Yeah.
Because
I'm
it's like, but
my
they haven't
math.
slowed down my physics learning at all.
Yeah, my math is not the best. I'm really much better I'm a lucid dreamer, and so I can kind of go through scenarios in a world where I have control over the appearance of physics. So I do a lot of stuff in there. Um, but but I tend to get lost in like a bunch of superpower stuff, so I never really get that much work done. Uh,
I actually, my like, how everybody has like a superpower, like what they're able to do. Well, mine is to be able to view extremely complex systems and visualize. Like I can see every moving part
hmm.
individually, and I can break that system down.
Yeah, you can see mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on for a second here. Who is there? Hey,
Is it?
Marshall. Do you know Andrea Nile
Mm-hmm.
from here in Wisdom? All
I'd
right,
have
I'm
to
gonna bring
check.
her up in a second, and then we're gonna talk some more uh, about uh, about theoretical physics, and um, but I haven't talked to her for a minute. I want to see what's up. So, can you hang around for a second?
Yeah, bro. Trust me, I'll always wait for physics.
All right, brother, we're gonna do that. All right, hold on. But I'm gonna take you offline for a second, and then
No worries.
all right, man, this is awesome. Marshall and I are bonding over physics, theoretical physics. I originally started talking about something else, but
Ah,
hey,
Grand
what's up,
Rising.
Andrea?
Grand Rising,
Hey,
Akeem. How are
Grand
you guys?
Rising. I'm fantastic. Grand Rising for you. You're like 6 hours earlier.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's nice. Well,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Well, I mean, I've been seeing you moving around. I've been popping in some chats where you've been. I'm like, yes, guy, go get 'em.
Yeah, I'm having a blast because it's like this is I feel like I'm just teleporting,
I
you
know,
know, to
right?
like just to different people's spaces because like you're in the UK and then it was you and somebody else like one right after the other on somebody's show um like a couple days ago, and it was like you were from UK and then somebody was from like Sweden or something like that, and
Oh
then
yes, Sandra.
Sandra, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And
Sandra.
I'm like, yo, this is so dope. It's like we're just all over the world in like 2 seconds.
Did you meet
And it's just like,
Ryan?
I think I don't know, maybe. No, it doesn't sound familiar, and I would remember
Ryan
that.
was on my show. Well, was he on my
Oh no,
show?
no, I heard you talking to him, and then I heard you got excited, and you were like, I'm gonna interview you, and then
Yes.
so I
You
heard that talk. I was peeping in that, but I didn't actually get to see or
didn't see the
listen to
interview.
the interview yet, but I
Um,
heard that it was amazing, so I'm gonna have to go to your
Akeem,
page,
it was.
your wisdom,
Oh
and
my God.
check it out.
Oh, Akeem, it was. Oh my gosh, it was. It was so dope. It was.
Because then I heard you talking about it a little bit to somebody else too, and I was like, okay, I missed out.
Yeah, you did. It was like, oh man, I was like, nah, this guy, yeah, he's good. He's good, I have to say. And anybody, if you haven't listened to Ryan Allen, please do check him out. He's really awesome. But you're really awesome as well because I want to tell you, there was two people that
Mm,
impacted me that day, and it was you and Ryan. And
yeah,
I
man.
yeah, seriously. And I'm not being bad, but I don't get impressed easy. And it's not even about being
hmm
impressed. It's more about
Sure.
acknowledging somebody's
Yeah, you're just
superpower.
feeling the power and the love, man.
Yeah,
You know?
I love it. I love this app. I love the people here.
Can you imagine? It's an app, like this thing, like
I
this
know.
ephemeral thing, just a few lines of code, and it's
Yeah.
making such an amazing impact.
Yeah, it's having an amazing impact. And I like I said, for me, I love numbers. I love seeing
Mm.
them. I love understanding them. I don't understand them really well. So I'm looking forward to learning from you. I really am. And I'm looking forward to us just collaborating, like all of us on here.
Yes.
Um, are you going to Utah?
What was happening in Utah?
So I think I know, right? I'm just asking everyone. Are you coming to Utah? Are you coming to? Is that right? It's not even my event. Like I need.
If there's something happening in Utah, then
There
I'm
is
going to
something
Utah.
happening in
If
Utah.
Wisdomers are gathering in Utah,
We
I'm
are.
gathering in Utah.
This is what I'm saying.
Because
It's like it's happening without happening because I don't know who I said it to, but I was like, oh my gosh. I think I was talking to Graciela or oh, I can't remember. I think it was Graciela I was talking to, and I was saying we totally need to do like a meet and greet. Like we need to,
yeah,
let's put on an event. I said I don't mind hosting, or if anybody's hosting and whatever, whatever. But I think it's Tina and Laura are hosting
yeah.
like a healing um thing, and Ryan Allen, I think he's the guest, the main guest that's been invited. And yeah, it's happening. I mean, I don't know the dates and stuff. I know, right? Me with all my
Well,
excitement.
I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be left out. I know somebody's gonna let me know
You
something as
know
soon
I'm
as they
gonna let
know.
you know. Come
Yeah.
on.
And I actually am gonna do I'm gonna start doing regular numerology
I was gonna say to
um
you, you've took the
workshops
words
on
on here, yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
please. But
and then there's
also,
this yeah, go ahead, go
but
ahead, go ahead.
sorry, also, can you know what you did with me, the number thing?
Hmm
When you
Yeah.
I know I call it the number thing. I'm sorry the way I say things, but
Just say this
what
you can
what
say
you did with
numerology or
me.
just say a numeroscope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's see. Why are you trying to give me big words this time of the morning? It's way too early, babe. It's way too early to give me these big words,
Yeah,
darling.
it
I need
is.
to let the brain work up. I haven't had the cup of tea yet. Like I ain't had the
Hmm
crumpets. Not that I do eat crumpets actually. I'm really am British, having tea and crumpets, but there's no
Crumpets and
crumpets this morning. the
Complex of a spot of
numerology
tea.
thing. Can I say that?
Hmm.
Yes, a
Yeah,
spot
yeah,
of
numerology
tea.
thing.
Right. So,
Yeah,
but what are you? The numerology reading? Can I call it that?
yeah, yes, you can call.
Is
Yes,
that what it was?
definitely. Yep, yeah,
Okay,
reading.
that makes sense to my
Yes.
brain. Okay,
I don't
so
know why
this
that. I don't know why
numerology
that
reading.
word fell out of my brain too. Yeah.
Because we're in sync. That's why we're. This is what happens. This is the
You know,
magic of the Matrix. Like,
it
it's
is.
So yeah, when you did that, I really because there's nobody really on here that does it. Not that I know of, and who does it as lovely as you do. So I would really
Oh,
love to see you doing like a regular. It doesn't have to be like, but that regularly. You know, you have like the tarot. We have tarot readers on here, and there's a
yeah.
couple that I do.
Yeah.
I check out. Um, but
Yep.
in the new
I listen. There's this one girl who goes off, and I'm just like, just sitting there listening. I'm like, all right, she's going through some stuff with those cards.
Melinda.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
I can't lie. She is actually one of my favorites that I listen to, and she be
Yeah.
tapping and she says, "Welcome to the tarot."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
love, peace, and
Pretty cool.
happiness, and I'm like,
Yeah. And
"Yes, girl, get
she's
it."
just doing it.
She is. So I do. I
Yeah.
listen to Melinda, um, but yeah, like doing what you do. There isn't really. I don't really know of anybody else just doing it. So that's a whole,
Yeah.
section
It's about time
that's
that I
not been.
unleashed it because,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
time. And I tell you this, yeah, if you've come to this space and I think it's time. I will have a conversation off of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's
Hmm.
have a
And this
conversation
is
off of here
perfect for, yeah.
at some point. But you are amazing, and what did you do for
Well, thank
me?
you. So are
It
you.
was you did my
The reflection.
my
Yeah.
birthday.
So I gave you a reading based off of your birthday, and I gave you your year vibration. So it's
Mhm.
called they're called personal numbers or personal numerals. So I gave you the vibration for your personal year, your
Mhm.
personal month, and your personal day. And of course, the personal day changes every day.
Mm.
So you have to recalculate the month, of course, every month, and then uh, the year you don't have to worry about, but you lay that down and then you calculate everything else based off of that. So right now I'll give you a little quick numerology masterclass that makes it easy for people to understand. This is
Mhm.
actually a piece that you should understand, and that it will make it will be something that's very important when you learn some things that might appear to be more fundamental or should have come first. But knowing this little part right here is really important. So,
Okay.
for example, all you have to know, first of all, is your birth date and then the
Yeah.
last year you had your birthday, which is this year, right?
Mhm.
So, to remind me what your birthday was again?
May 18th.
Right, my sister's birthday,
Yeah.
my younger sister's birthday. So,
Best birthday
all you have
ever.
to do is,
Just saying.
right? um, and you basically just need to know that and the last year, and you just add those numerals together. And you can take it piece by piece. Sometimes I look at the numbers and I get overwhelmed, but I just look at everything one little piece at a time. So I'll just look at 5 plus 18 and I'll resolve that. And here's the trick. It doesn't matter. Like I'll show you something right now. It's called the commutative law of addition. It doesn't matter if you add 5 plus 18, or if you add 51 plus 8, or if you add 5 plus 1 plus 8, or if you add 81 plus 5. So it's all going to come out to the same thing, which is the magic of numbers
I love
and
that.
quantity. So like for example, you have I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the one part, because I said I wanted to make this easy, so I'm going to give you a piece, and it's just know always when was the last year you had your birthday, and you simply add that to 518, which is 23, and you reduce it to a single digit, which is 2 and 3 and 5. And then you just take 2022, which is easy because it's just three twos, and that's a 6. So you have a 5 and a 6, and 5 and 6 is 11. And now 11 is a master number, but you always can reduce it down to a single digit to keep it simple, and it's a 2. So
Right.
once you just know your personal year vibration, then it's easy to calculate everything else. So your personal year vibration in the simplest form is 2.
But I've been saying that all
And
year, that this
yeah,
year
yeah.
is my 2 year. And so when you said that, sorry to go in while you're doing your equation, but I've been saying that all year. Sorry, carry on.
No, 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 no. Speaking of equations, I'm gonna talk to Marshall in a second, and maybe we can jump back up. But we were getting some deep physics just now. But
I heard. I was so lost. And he was like, yeah, I understand that. And I was like, yeah, but I don't. So can you let him explain it, please? I was like,
and I was looking at that too. I was like, I wonder if people in the whoever's in the
I
room, they're
had
just like,
no
what the hell
idea
are
what
they
you're talking
talking about?
about. I mean, I'll say this. I know this sounds really probably a bit infantile in what you guys are talking about, but I watched Big Bang Theory and I
Mhm.
learned a lot of physics stuff from Big Bang Theory because they talk about a lot of stuff, and they
Yes,
they
and they have consultants who teach them real physics. Yeah.
right. And I've been learning some physics stuff, so I've been listening. So when you've been talking about, I had my ears could attune a little bit because I was like, yeah, I learned that on Big Bang Theory when it was talking.
Just like everything else, you gotta let it drip, drip, drip. You know.
Yeah, so I love it. I love the because I'm really into like science. Not, and I say really into. I I have um like a respect
Maybe an
for it.
affinity for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm drawn to it. I'm I'm really into
Better
music.
watch out. That's how it
Um,
starts. Well, that's
well,
how it
I love
starts. And plus,
it.
music. Music is incredible.
Yes,
But
music is. Yeah, sorry.
but just
Yeah.
keep in
So
mind,
anyway, let me
you're
jump
no.
down. Yeah.
No, no, no. But I
Oh,
just want you to. I want before you do that, you need to be sure of something that you're in a in
okay.
a, in a numeral 2 vibration until your birthday of next year. Okay. And anytime you want to figure out any other numeral, even if you don't know what the numeral means, right?
Hmm.
That doesn't matter. You can start learning how to calculate them. You just add your year, which is 2, to the month that you're in. So like right now we're in August, you just add 2 and 8, and you get 10, and then 10 is a 1, right? Because 1 and 0.
Mm.
And then after that, you just add the day if you want to get the personal day vibration. But we'll go over that some more. And
So what is a numeral 2 vibration? See, you just kept me here and now I've got more
so
questions.
yeah, so the numeral 2 vibration is it's cooperation, it's receptivity, it's nurturing, and it's a feminine energy. And whereas the numeral 1 is uh, creativity, leadership, and starting new things, and also masculine. So each one has their own different attributes to them. But yes, the 2 is the receptive, cooperative, feminine. Yeah, so
Right.
receptive, cooperative, and nurturing would probably be best. Receptive, cooperative. I don't know why cooperative. I've never liked that, but it's in the book uh, that I told you about the other day,
Yeah, but
Numerology
cooperative is a
for
great
Beginners.
word. It's a great
Yeah,
word because that's what we're doing right now.
yeah. Um,
It's
I guess so. I guess
beautiful.
maybe I've had a yeah. It is
Yeah,
lovely, and the book is
it
fantastic.
is. Yeah. Is it did you write the book or you got it from another book?
No, it's called Numerology for Beginners by Jerry Bauer, and it was the first numerology book I'd ever encountered. It was so good that I sat in Barnes and Noble for 4 hours, read it, and then bought it. Like I read the whole
Oh
thing from cover to
wow.
cover, and then went up to the counter, bought the book, and then read it again, and just learned so much from it because numerology for beginners, but it covers. Yeah, there are other things you can do with numerology, but this one was just, you know, I don't even reference any other books. I'm sure there people will tell you, but then you could do this and you could do it, and I'm just like, you know what? That's enough. That's
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm doing well enough with this.
Exactly. It's like why am I going to go deeper into the rabbit's hole when I'm good here? Like, but no, I love what you're doing, Hakeem. I'm really glad you've joined the Wisdom family. I think you are an absolute gem for the family, and
As are you.
thank you, and I love it. I love what you do. I resonate with what you say, because absolutely yes, the two is definitely where I'm at, and even when you spoke about the feminine energy, um it was
Mm,
like that was so on point for me, because I feel like I operated in masculine energy quite a lot, and
mm.
it's been the last.
And you still got a lot of that hovering around too with that so excuse me for cutting off
No,
with
it's
that.
fine.
You're in a numeral 11 year, that master number, so you have that
Yeah.
double masculine energy as a master number. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it becomes a super feminine because it's too masculine cooperating. And so it's too masculine doing something that's not supposed to be part of their characteristics, but they have to be a master number. So you have two
Ah,
masculine numbers cooperating. And so, and this is what gives it its mastery, and why your year is a combination of that. You not only have leadership, creativity, and the ability to start new things, but you're able to nurture it and to get the cooperation that you need for it to thrive, and um, and to be able to work with all the energies, masculine and feminine. So it's actually a really complete thing if looked at from a certain perspective. So there's a lot of things, and numerology, just like a lot of other stuff, you can go down an endless rabbit hole, but I like to stick to the most basic and simple of everything.
yeah, and I like basic and simple, but I'm still here with my mouth wide open, because I'm
it's,
like,
it's a great
I'm like,
it's a great sport.
it makes sense. Like seriously, we will talk out off here,
Yeah,
but everything that you're saying makes sense to my situation. Like what I'm experiencing in this time, everything that you're saying, it
yeah.
makes so much sense that it's a little bit like
It
scary.
can it, it it freaks me out. I have a story I'm going to tell on one of the upcoming talks that I do to kind of preface the numerology readings that I'll be doing here. And when you hear that
Mm.
story, it's gonna make your whole body like levitate.
Oh
It's ridiculous.
wow. I can't
It's ridiculous.
wait. I can't. So are you going to be doing like a regular time? Because I find that,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm thinking that it's gonna be. I have 8 p.m. until 8:30. I know it's a short window, like on most days, because I have a walk that I take, and I'm gonna get the right kind of mic, or at least just start doing it, because I have this 30-minute walk, and I just thought to myself, you know what?
You say 8 p.m.
It would
to
be
8:30 in the evening.
yeah, but that would be over the time over here, but there's also
That
a
doesn't
morning
work for
time
me.
that I'm gonna. Hey, listen,
That
you didn't let
doesn't
me
work for
complete. I said,
me.
hold on. There's eternity also is waiting here, and I'm gonna talk to her in a second. But yeah, you didn't listen to the second part. I'm also gonna do a morning time because I usually get up early in the mornings anyway, around well, not this early, but but usually a few hours from now. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll work it out. We'll make it work.
All
We'll make it
right.
work.
All right. Well, thank
But
you.
that's for sure.
And
Yeah, you're welcome. And
and
if you're around and I'm still hovering around here, please come back and say hello.
yeah, yeah, I will. And yes, yeah, just have a wonderful day. I'm around, and I'm gonna be sort of
You too.
going and say hi to a few people, but I'm around and I'll be back here. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Awesome. You too. Later. All right. That was the joyful Andrea Nile. And I just simply titled this room Sleep in Physics right now. I don't know where Marshall went to. Eternity.
Hi, Hakeem. Did I say your name correctly?
You did. Oh, I think there's Marshall. Okay, good. He's here. Marshall, hold on for a second. I just brought Eternity up. As you can see the timer there. She's just been on for 15 seconds. Hey, yes, it's Hakeem. How you doing?
I'm okay. I was actually asleep and I woke up and then Spirit told me to go on I saw your thing and I was drawn to it. So I was just listening to the end of Andrea's chat with you. So I just wanted to meet
Yeah.
you and see what
Well,
see
I'm so
what you
glad
had
that
to
you
tell
did.
me. So why did you name it Sleep in Physics? And
Well,
it's funny that I just woke up from sleep, so I was like curious.
right. Well, so Marshall, who is also listening, had another room earlier, and I passed through and was listening to him talk about various things. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I came in here to start reading one of the articles that are published on one of my websites
Mm-hmm.
because I often do that to create content out of it so that
Nice.
I also raise awareness because there's all these useful tips that these authors write that will really help people if only they knew about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
do my best to
Agree.
kind of promote it as much as possible.
Love that.
And as I was doing that, Marshall came into the room and started talking, and it so happens he loves physics, and I am a, a lover of physics myself. I don't know if I would say I'm a physicist, but I love it. I always want to study it. I always want to know more. I want to know how things work. And we just started talking about that, and we got started talking about some deep things, and then the alien zapped us off and crashed the app, and then we had to get back on, and I just decided to keep the name short and call it Sleep in Physics instead of writing out the name of the article I was reading.
I like it.
Because
I like Sleep in Physics because it makes people curious, like myself.
well, there you go.
And I'm really big into
Um,
numerology, and I heard you say the book that you were reading in Barnes and Noble. So I already wrote it down in my notes. So,
yeah. So her name is Jerry Bauer, and it's spelled Gerie. Not
thank you,
typical
because I
spelling.
spelled it wrong. Gerie.
Yeah, RIE.
Okay,
And
thank
Bauer
you.
is Bauer. Yeah, it's one of the best books.
Bauer. Okay,
ER.
thank you.
The
I'm
only
half
book on
asleep. I have to spell things out
numerology.
loud while I'm typing.
No, that's very good. You got to
Appreciate you.
make sure you keep things on point. But it's great. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's fantastic.
That's
So,
fine. That's enough.
what's your birthday?
Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1990.
Wow. So December 24th. Okay, I'll give you your life path number since you gave me the birth year.
Thank you.
Um, so you have
Because
12
I
and
forgot.
24.
I forgot my last pen number, so thank you.
All right. So you have 12 and 24,
Mm-hmm.
and that's 36,
Mm-hmm.
which 3 and 6 is a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just hold on to that 9, put it in one of your hands. Which
Okay.
hand is it in, left or right?
Right.
So you got the 9 in your right hand. Okay, so now in the left hand, we're gonna open it up and look at, you have 1990, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll just take those nines and those zeros and say goodbye to them.
Okay.
Shake them off
That's
the hand.
one.
You have a 1 left, right? And then you have
Mm.
1, and what do you have in the other hand?
A 9. So 10,
The right hand?
which is 1.
Well, now you can just get rid of that 9. It's a 0 basically. So now look what you have, right? You got a 1 left. So your life path is 1. Leadership,
That.
creativity.
Thank you. So I have a lot of brain farts, so I knew that, but like I legitimately forgot.
But but
So
now we can deconstruct it and reconstruct it from a different way, right?
yes,
So we can
let's
now
do it.
we can now get the gross uh, um, sum. So
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by that is by not reducing anything at first. So we can look at 1990 as 1990.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is just an intellectual exercise I'm doing right now just for fun, but you can do this stuff with numerology. So,
I appreciate it.
um, so now you look at 12 and 24, right? Again, that's 36. So we're just going to keep that as 36,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the total sum of what those two numbers come up to. Now we have 1990, 1990. So you have 1990 plus 36. So let's make it easy at first. Let's just go 1996, right? And then we have 2006, we have 2016, and then we put that last. Uh, are you following what I did there with 1990 plus
I'm
36?
actually, my mind actually just went to, for everyone listening as well, 2006 and 2016 were just powerful years of my life, life changing years. So that's interesting. That's where my mind went.
And then, all
But
right,
yeah,
that's good. And then 2026. Um, that's fine. That's great. It's called association, free association, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
things spark those in the mind and send you to things that are
Mm-hmm.
significant. It happens to me all the time, and it's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful
But yes, I
when
see what
you.
you did, because 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9, so that's what you did.
Yeah.
I kind of learned like
So,
backwards,
but
and I have a delayed learning process.
yeah. Well, as long as you acknowledge it and you just work with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so now we have two, 226
Mm-hmm.
or 2026.
2026. Mm-hmm.
And then, so 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is what? Is 10, and 10 is a 1, and a 0, which is a 1. So you see how we can arrive
Mm-hmm.
at any sum as long as you use the commutative law of addition. It doesn't matter what order you add the numbers up in.
Right.
It's always going to be the same thing. And there's certain little tricks, like you can get rid of the nines because they equal zeros in a way. If you want to make a really super quick calculation and you see nines, just get rid of them. Just act like they don't even exist because they're going to dissolve anyway.
Right.
Um, but unless you want like to see if there are master numbers and things like that, then you leave it. Like for example, if you see like 2991, if you just get rid of the nines, you'll have 3, right?
Right.
But if you wanted to see a different expression, is what it would be called, then you would keep those 2 nines in there, which are now 18 plus 3, which is 21, which is still a 3, but you got there by a different
Right.
order of the numerals, as well as um, 21. It depends on which one is on the right and the left, and so see, there's all kinds of stuff. But anyway, your numeral, your life path is a
Yeah.
1, numeral
Yay.
1, which is
Makes sense.
leadership, creativity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This year, let's see, what did I? I'm such a goofball. What did I
So am I.
just
So you're
lose?
fine.
1224. All right,
Yes.
so um, and so that was last year, 2021. So that was the last year you had your birthday.
Yes, that was my
So
solar
you have
return.
it. Yeah. So you have 36, which is a 9, plus a 5, which is 14 and 5. So wow. Okay. So you're in a numeral 5 energy year, starting from your birthday in December, and it's going to go that way until the next couple months here in this year. And 5 is an interesting number because it indicates travel. It also indicates something that can be disturbing if you're not expecting it, which is, and this has probably already happened to you, I'm actually quite sure of it,
Yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
things come in and out of your life unexpectedly. Like either you get called into work or to do an assignment unexpectedly when you're just trying to take a nap, or something that you tried to do, like a date you tried to go on with a friend, or you wanted to go shopping, or you wanted to go see a movie and it got suddenly canceled, or you couldn't do it for whatever reason. So
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things happen in the 5 energy, but also
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with travel, also has to do with being fickle. So that's also fickle. Things are just kind of can pop in and out at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
But it also indicates um, a heightened sense of awareness of how you communicate specifically with words. So
Mm-hmm.
you might have started reading more or writing more or speaking a lot more because of that energy of the 5,
Mm-hmm.
which also indicates freedom. So there's so many things. 5 is a magnificent number. It has so many qualities because it's right in the middle.
So for everyone listening who doesn't know me, I see only a few. I think I saw Angelina. Hey, Angelina. I have been writing a lot. I am a writer. I'm an author. My 5th book is almost done to be released before this year
Mm,
ends. And
that is incredible.
I had another spiritual awakening. So yes to all of that. And yes, the disturbing shit has already happened. Excuse my French. I curse a lot.
Mm.
So yeah, I just wanted to confirm for everyone listening that is all facts. And Spirit gave
Yeah.
me oh, go ahead.
And Eternity, did you intentionally wear this yellow or athletic gold shirt to match the
No, my
star?
coral shirt, that's just the headshot that I had. No, but it
I'm
kind
just
of fucking
joking. I'm
works,
just messing
right?
with you.
No,
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
And I majored in fashion, so I love color coordinating. I really do.
Yeah.
But no, that's just happened. I'm probably gonna actually update my picture on here sometime, but it works for now.
Cool photo. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I host open mic shows. I'm very much a lady. I started my own company, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And
So,
my feature artist at my last
uh,
show told me,
Eternal Fitness Studios.
correct. So I'm in the process of the beginning
You know,
stages of that.
I'm a fitness
What
trainer
is it?
myself.
You say you're a trainer
I've
yourself?
been a fitness.
I'm
I've
not a
been
trainer.
a
I'm
fitness trainer.
I'm a dance instructor. And
Mm,
Eternal Studios was already taken, so Eternal Fitness Studios is my backup name that I had in my mind.
that's totally awesome that you still made it work.
Yeah, and I think fitness also has to. I always say fitness always has to do with the mind and spirit and emotion. So me hosting open mics is a spiritual and a fitness thing type of experience as well. So yeah, my feature
Mm.
artist gave me a message from spirit recently that was really exciting and in alignment with what I desire and been manifesting. So I'm excited for this next chapter of my life.
I'm excited for you, and there's a lot we have to talk about because things that you said about, you believe fitness or is in the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my one of my first concepts is called hypnoathletics, exercising your mind. But anyway,
Mm.
there's a lot of that, we get into. But do you have any other inquiries about numbers?
I like how you get an accent all of a sudden. You said travel. The only traveling I've done is going back home because
It
I got
doesn't always happen.
homesick. Hmm? What did you say?
So it doesn't always happen, but it doesn't always happen, but it can.
Okay. I would
The
like,
travel part,
well,
yeah. I mean,
I actually have a trip planned for November, so that's cool.
you have you have time. I can see if there's going to be something upcoming. Let me see. You're in the
There's
5 year
supposed to
8.
be,
There's 13.
according
This
to
is
someone else who's
4
very
plus
intuitive.
5.
There's,
Oh yeah, September. You'll be traveling next month.
okay, I'm down with that because I've been kind of thinking that anyway. Cool.
I mean, it's just the most favorable time of your year because it doubles up the 5 energy. That,
Okay.
and also, if not then, it's going to be 4 months later when you're in a. No, would it be a normal 9 months? No, because it's going to be. Oh no, because you're going to have your birthday. Oh man,
Yeah, my birthday's in
yeah. There's
December.
there's there's a lot of calculation. There's a lot of. Oh man, I'm not
I
doing
want to
math right
travel for my birthday too.
now.
Lord willing, I want to travel. I do desire to travel for my birthday because I
Yes.
never get to because it's so expensive, y'all, to fly around Christmas time. So I want to make that happen.
Mm,
Like that's one of my goals. But I have a trip
yeah.
planned for November, which is only the month before, so I definitely have to save up for
And,
those
and
things.
and did you say where you wanted to go
I did
again?
not say where. I already have this. I have the country though for November.
Okay.
My friend's a travel agent,
Okay.
so
Gotcha.
and for
Oh,
luckily for this trip, we don't have to pay until arrival, so that works out
wow, that's
because I
not
don't have the
bad.
money yet. Yeah, I know. I was like,
That's not
sign
bad
me
at
up.
all.
But for
Well,
September, I was
somehow.
thinking visiting my niece because I
Yeah,
miss her a lot.
okay.
But
That's nice. It's nice to have that kind of relationship with the niece.
yeah, she's older now. She's 14. She's my oldest one.
Mm,
Trying to think if I
wow.
have another numerology question. Um,
Um, so eternity, it's also the fifth letter of the alphabet. It's the first letter
oh,
of the name. So
that's
there's
funny.
that. That's also significant. It's also purified because it is the fifth letter in the English alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you speak any other language before? Like, is English your
I do.
first language?
English is my first language, but
What
I do
is it?
speak another language. I'm Haitian American, and I studied in Italy in college,
Okay.
and I know sign language.
So you speak Creole
Yes.
and sign
Mm-hmm.
language.
And a little bit of Italian because I studied in Italy in college.
So those remain the same. It doesn't change because of the structure of those languages. So the alphanumerics are intact.
What does that? What do you mean?
So
What do you
the
mean by that?
alphanumerics, each letter in the alphabet have a number and order. A is 1, B is
Right.
2,
Oh,
so
I
all the
see
way
what you're
through
saying. So
ZB
they're, yeah, they're all the
26.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So there's not that much of a difference, and plus they're based off of um,
Right.
the older gematria systems in Hebrew, which uh, came up with the alphabet because the Greek uh, language is Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, and Greek is Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. It's the same thing. So
It's funny you say that because
yeah,
for some reason, I've always wanted to visit Greece, and it's on my bucket list
mm,
to visit and use the Greek alphabet. That's
yeah.
cool.
There you go. That's so great. See, look at you, like making all these plans. See,
Yeah, I
there
have a
you
lot of
go.
plans.
Get
A lot of
inspired. Stay inspired.
always.
I've barely been back to the United States for a year. I got back here September 4th of 2021, and I've already detached. I'm already
Oh
like
yeah, I'm
figuring stuff
very.
out and getting rid of stuff to get ready
I
to
like where
travel
I'm at
again.
now to
But
stay, but I definitely always desired and planned to travel with my future partner and when I have kids. But I love traveling.
yeah, it's the most amazing thing. You wouldn't believe. I'm actually going to be teaching a course, basically some silly name like how to be a digital nomad, where I teach people every single thing they need down to the brands they should buy of like and services, just to give them references so that they can
I love
completely
that.
go on the road and just and like be able to exist and earn money from wherever they are
That's what I
and
want
not
to.
have
That's
to.
what I desire to do. Eternal Fitness Series will definitely be like global eventually. It's
And the thing is it operates best when you do meet up with people. That's what's really funny is
yeah,
that the thing that makes a digital nomad business work is always being in touch with people, but where
right.
you are, you know what I mean? So it's like that's the thing. Like for some reason, it doesn't work for me at least unless I'm connected to people.
Right.
Like if I'm in China or if I'm in Thailand or if I'm
Yeah.
in Russia or whatever, if I'm just trying to do everything online completely, it doesn't work. But as soon as if I could physically put my hand on somebody's shoulder and all of a sudden it wakes everything up.
Yeah. It's the energy. I'm really
Being
big
around
on
people.
relationships and building. Um, that's all my books are about is relationships and my podcast and how I live my life, honestly. So I love.
Tell us about your books.
So
Um,
the first one is Eye to Wide Open about my spiritual awakening and my journey and things I've learned to get to that point in my life. That was like 4 years in the making. Those poems from 2016. Those were written from 2016 to 2020. And then Love Out Loud was the next one I wrote during the pandemic on how we should treat each other better. And, it's, our lives are different now, obviously, in a different world, and how we should better treat each other and our experiences as Black people in the US. And then Your Black is Beautiful is the next book, which is an ode to the Black community. And I get more personal about my journey and my desires. And I wrote all the poems during National Poetry Month of that year, which was honestly, they all merged together. So I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2021.
yeah,
So National Poetry Month is in April, and artists are challenged to write a poem every single day of that month. And I succeeded at that year with 2 accountability partners. So I
yeah.
put all the poems in there as well. And there's a note.
This is
And
amazing. I'm
then,
just looking. I looked at your website just
thanks.
now too.
And then
I see your list of books there.
I took one down, but I'm probably gonna put it back up soon. But it's on Amazon. But definitely support my website more because Amazon takes a big percentage. Anyway, um,
Hmm.
Talk Out Loud is the next one, which is a play on words from Love Out Loud. But it's the journey of this past year I just had and the lessons I've learned from my last relationship, and the conversations him and I have had. Still friends, by the way. And then this new one is about soulmates. I'm super excited, y'all.
Mm.
I've met a few of my soulmates, and yes, you have more than one, if you were ever wondering, because there's platonic soulmates as well. That meet you where you're at. So that's what this book is
That's
about,
right.
and there's some poems in there to my future partner, father of my children. So I'm excited
Mm.
to release it soon.
That is exciting. You should be. This is really great. I want to. As I was looking at your site, I didn't
Mm.
see what is the what is your website address? I clicked on it says website. Where are my
Eternity.
books?
Yep. So that's my link tree with everything I
Et-
do. Like I have the link to my
Eternity Hippolyte. Yeah, you should just
Hippolyte.
use her link
Yeah.
tree, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EternityHippolyte.com. Hippolyte is how you say it with my in Creole. Um.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hippolyte. Okay.
Um.
Some people say Hippolyta. Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
the there's the Greek version of it. The what's it called?
Yeah.
What's her name? The superhero. Hippolyta is in Greek.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Um. But yeah,
Yeah.
so my website. Oh, I forgot to take down my last show. But yeah, I have the link tree of everything that I do. So I have my podcast link is in there, eternityhippolyte.com for my website. And if you need any writing services, because I edit and I provide copywriting services as well, and styling.
Copywriting and styling. Hey, what were you talking about? You took something down, or there's something on your
One
site
of my books.
that, oh, one of the books, right,
It's
right.
still on Amazon,
Okay.
but I took it off of my website.
Okay.
I only have a few.
Why was that?
I don't know. I woke up in the middle of the night and it just felt like it was right to do. I think I was in my feelings.
Okay.
But I
Did you
still
try to
have
go
a
with that?
sum on hand. Yeah. So I was just like, no, but I don't want to take it off Amazon. I'll leave it up there. Forever who needs it. But I might put it back up, but I just felt like it was right to take it down. And I'm gonna, only my close friends have it right now.
And what about do you make any what am I saying? Audio book versions of your books?
I
Do you are
don't, and
you
someone definitely suggests I should, and I'm going to, after I release Soulmates, I'll probably record Soulmates first. I'm not sure which one I'll do first. I'll probably do that one first since that's my next book. But I've been told many times recently that people love my voice. So I'm going to put,
you do have a great
thank you.
voice.
I've been a spoken word artist for a long time. I used to hate hearing my voice, but now I love it.
It's your voice is great. It's
Thank you.
really relaxing. It's smooth. But it's also just very clear and it sounds confident. You know, it sounds
Yeah.
very. It sounds. It's an interesting blend of like um it's very ladylike and at the same time like super confident.
Thank
Which is not to say that women shouldn't be confident.
No,
I
no,
know that
like that. I
everybody listening out there in freaking,
no,
you know,
listen, I take it as a
wisdom
compliment because it took
space.
years, and I tell people it took years to have confidence in myself because I definitely,
Yeah,
obviously, we all have our insecurities. It took years of me speaking for this long. I've been speaking in front of people
yeah,
for 11 years. But thank you. And it's funny that you said ladylike because that word, I hate that. Not that I'm not mad, by the way. Don't think I'm not offended at all. I wrote a poem about this because an old friend of mine, we're not friends anymore, but his mom once said something about not being ladylike. And I was like, shut the hell up. I was like, are you
yeah.
kidding me? So I wrote a poem about it because I thought it was funny. Because I'm like,
Okay,
come on.
little
No, I
trigger
wasn't
there.
triggered. I
Okay.
was just like, girl, I was like, I don't, what did I say? I think I said bathroom? Or I think I said I have to go pee. No, I think I said I have to go pee. And she said that wasn't ladylike. And I was like, I was like, are you joking?
Interesting.
And she was like, no. And I was like, usually I just say bathroom. She's like, you should say ladies' room. And I was like, I never say that. I was like, I never say ladies'
Interesting.
room.
People are so funny.
I was like, I don't
People are really,
care.
really
I
funny.
was like, I really don't care. Like, so yeah, I just thought that
You know
was
what that
funny.
reminds me of
What?
is like I remember the first time I didn't say bless you when somebody sneezed
Mm-hmm.
and they got so upset. And I'm just like,
They got upset
what's
with you for
happening
not
here?
saying bless you.
Yeah,
What did
some
you
people,
say?
I didn't say anything. That's the thing. I just kind of looked up
I.
and looked back down at what I was doing. I was like, good
That's
sneeze.
why I
What
would
do
have
what do
done. I
you
would
want
have
me
just
to say?
looked at them. Y'all,
Yeah, just looked up and
for
looked back
everyone
down to what I was
listening,
doing.
please know that
You're not,
people are gonna be
you're not
offended
gonna say bless
all
you.
the time. Like,
Uh,
just
I
know
wasn't
that
planning on it.
if you're not saying anything out of a intentionally mean place, then say what the fuck you need to say, okay? Like it's ridiculous. People are gonna be offended no matter what. No matter even when you're doing well, people are gonna be offended.
Yeah,
So that's why I keep with me all
you're
the
right.
time. Because I used to take
Yeah,
things personally a lot, and I try to remind myself of the 4 agreements when I do, and get out of that shit because I don't have time for that. Like, life is too short.
out of all the
Life
things
is too fragile.
that I thought that you're right, you're absolutely correct. Life is too fragile. It's too short for that nonsense. Um,
It
so
really
of
is.
all the things that, oh yeah, I wanted to ask more about. Do you do you have your books? Are they ebooks and do you have hard?
I
Do you
have
sell
ebooks
hard copies?
for. I saw holographies. I have ebooks for Eyes Wide Open on Amazon, and for, did I do ebook for Love Out Loud? I think I did ebook for Love Out Loud as well. I will do ebooks for the others soon, but I didn't do them yet. I did hard copies. So yeah, I'll be doing that probably once I'm officially done with Soulmates.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on for a second. I wanted to say hello to everybody here. Just they're coming through or not.
Yeah, go ahead. There's more people now.
DeAndre Duncan, hello, Master Yoda. That's awesome. Josh McDaniel, rise and shine. What's up? Let's see. Was it Rise and Shine
I
with
like Master Yoda's
Dunamis?
bio. I just read it.
Pretty cool. Ruma T. Hey, Ruma. I followed Ruma yesterday. Gregory Landsman, welcome. Thomas Family 713. Philip Parker. Terry, what's up? Charlotte. Lois Hampson. Eternity's here. Matt Aldridge. Scott Lee Twilliger. Aiden Nepom. Changed up. Now what? Philip, Child of God. Lynn's Paul. Hello, hello, hello. Ashley Pauls with an S. JP, not Morgan. Hey. Shane Cottle. Marine Avagian. Adrian Warvick. Hey, what's up, Adrian? Broad topics. Angelina came through. Angelina Frost. Patrick Roy. And then Tyrannosaurus Eversol. That's awesome. Andrea,
That's
hey,
funny.
Levi. And then Robin Black. Captain Khalid is still here. Marshall. Oh, Marshall's waiting for me. And Zara Eversol. Oh, boy.
Well, you can get to Marshall. I
So,
know he's been waiting. And I want to say hi to Lois. Lots and lots and love to you, Lois.
yeah. Well, anybody can, hop back up. Um, yeah, so there was something you were going to say, something. I thought I was going to say something, but
You were going to say something.
oh, well, um, oh no, I'm just
You asked
gonna.
me if I had
I know what
ebooks
I'm.
and then audiobooks, so I don't know if that helps your
Yeah,
memory of
no,
what it is.
and I know what I'm. I was going to, yes, raid your website and start looking at your books. That's what I was going to do. I'm going to familiarize
Okay, I
myself
appreciate
with
it.
your work.
Please do. And everyone listening, please check out my website. I appreciate it. I create full time and no, it's not easy. And no, I'm not rich yet.
Yeah, guys,
So I appreciate the support
Eternity.
for real, for real.
Yeah, everybody, come
And I
check out
wrote these books.
Eternity.
So
Follow Eternity here and check out her link tree. It has all of the links that you could possibly need. Well, maybe not all of them yet, but you'll be able to find her books and her other work there. So please follow Miss Eternity here. And
thank you so much.
yeah, and I'd like to. We'll have another talk, and I don't
Hmm.
I don't do anything
For
really
sure.
that formal, but I'd like to
Hmm.
interview you. I tend to do pretty decent when I start asking people a lot of questions.
Same. I think I already don't even remember how many questions I asked you, but I like to ask a lot of questions too. Because I always tell people, if you don't ask any questions, you won't get any answers.
That's true.
Yeah, I wrote these books so people know that they're not alone in their journey. So you are not alone. If you're feeling lonely, it happens, but no, you're not. You're not alone, and I'm here. And even if I can't physically see you, I'm there in
And
energy.
what
What is it?
what part of the world are you in?
I'm in the U.S. in the South. What about
Okay.
you?
I'm in the east. I'm in Virginia Beach for now.
I've never
Finally.
been there, and I kind of always wanted to visit there. So I'm gonna message you about you. Tell me
Yep,
if it's worth it.
that's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna visit it,
Okay.
and then you're gonna leave.
Not really.
It'll be it'll be fun while you're
I've
here,
only
and that's
driven
about
through
all you can.
Virginia to get to where the state I'm in now, but I've never stopped. And I've always, I think that's the state that people told me they're very super psycho about speeding. Like you'll go, like it's like a felony. Is that correct in the state of
No,
Virginia?
man, these people just are doing crazy stuff. They speed all the time. No, if
Are
people
you
that I've
sure?
driven with have anything to say about it, I am totally sure. I've been in a car with a guy who was going 140 miles an hour. So yeah,
Okay, well, I guess
and
my friends didn't have good luck then, because they definitely, my cousin had a whole
well,
court
maybe not
case.
140. No, he
Because
cracked
I'm like, that's
100,
really
but I don't.
fast.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
about that. I mean, maybe he could, but he just doesn't care. And I
I
don't know.
just slowed down when I was driving through there. I just remember a couple people had some issues. As soon as they crossed the line, there was a cop
It's a
just sitting there
it's a great
waiting.
place to visit during a certain part
Yeah.
of the year. I
When's
mean,
the
that's
best
all I
time of
can
year
say
to
about
visit?
that. I'd
When's the
say
best time of year to visit?
like probably like a month into summer.
Okay. So like June
But I
or
don't know.
July.
I'm not an expert. I don't I'm not a
You live there. You
Virginian.
just said the best time to visit. You said it with confidence, and now you're not saying it so confidently.
It seemed like it because you left too much space. You didn't say anything right away, so it made me insecure about my answer. I thought I was
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I was actually just writing. I was gonna write down what month I should visit next year, maybe. Like, should it be the beginning of summer? You said beginning of summer,
I
so
mean,
now you're
I
not.
don't know.
Don't
The
be
end
insecure
of
now. I'm not trying to
June.
make you insecure. Okay.
The end of June.
Do I
Yeah,
have
probably
that
the end of
power?
June.
Come on, own your power, Hakeem. You seem like a
June.
pretty powerful person. Walk in
Yeah,
it.
how do you know that that part of my power is not feigning
Is
the
not what?
lack of it? Is not faking
What?
the lack of
Oh,
power.
faking? You
Yeah,
shouldn't fake it.
that's a superpower
I get
itself. Is to
to fake
fake
it till
being
you make it.
powerless. No, just fake being
Oh, faking power.
powerless.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I am an actor as well, but I only respect it if it's acting. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Well, thank
now check
you.
this out. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
for sure. Make sure I'm gonna send you a message real quick
Hmm.
and just make sure you keep in touch and do you well I mean I did see you have a whole rack of talks starting
I
from
do. I
February.
started
So
in February. Yeah, I think it was February, January. Yeah. Yeah, so check them out. And I'll check out yours another time as well. I should go back to
indeed.
sleep, but I
All right.
thank you. So it's the
Sleep
same
in
time where
physics.
you're at. It's yeah, sleep. It's almost 4 a.m., y'all. But I love y'all,
Oh my
and
goodness.
thanks for the. We'll definitely talk another time.
All right, Tony.
I've
All
slept
right.
so far,
Later.
so I appreciate y'all. Have a good night, everyone, or day. Have a good day. And Andrea, I'm following you now too, and I would love to talk to you another time too. I don't know if she's still on here. I love a British accent. I really do. I'm a sucker for it.
It is
Peace,
great.
y'all.
It is really great. All right, later. All right. That was eternity. It didn't seem like we were talking for an eternity. The time went by way too quick. But now Marshall's back. Hey, man. Thanks for waiting. You're really patient. I appreciate you,
Bro, I got the patience of Job, dude.
man. Yeah. Job is.
For real. Like when you
has-
self-taught, you have to like. Plus, I did technical support for elderly people. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, yeah, that have old computers that are really slow themselves. So they're
So you've
like,
got to
why?
really
I
be
clicked
patient.
it. Yeah, I clicked it. Why isn't it going through? I'm like, well, first off, your computer's really slow.
I turned it off and on.
So don't click it five. Yeah, don't click it 5 times because that's not going to help.
So, isn't this awesome? I mean, how do you feel? I mean, it's so great. I had met Andrea Nile the other day and did an impromptu but really amazing interview with her, and met a whole bunch of other people. And man, it's just a wonderful community. What have you been thinking about it so far? Have you got to meet a lot of people, or have you been
Well,
keeping mostly to
I'm
yourself?
stuck on the fact. Well, I isolate myself a lot because of my goals because I have the vision, like to be able to implement a vision, like it takes so much work, like insane amount of work that you would just wear yourself out. Like you will, like if you're not constantly conditioning yourself to work at that level, then you're like you'll fall off. Like it's not meant for everybody. Like
You're right about that.
I've caused myself mental sickness performing it before, but like this time I can actually see the goal a lot more clearer and my path is a lot clearer. So like the point where I was wearing myself out was is doing tasks before that like didn't have anything to do with my goal. So I was like putting out this amount of work, but then it was all for nothing because I wasn't gaining any traction because it wasn't related
Yeah,
to what it should have been related.
I could definitely see how that would throw you off, man, because
Mentally exhaust someone. Yeah,
yeah.
mentally exhaust.
Have you had to take a break before because um of mental exhaustion? Have you and
I well, I had a metaverse company. I actually started
mm,
a VR company, and I had people working for me for just based on my vision,
yes,
like for free, like based on company stock, which means nothing at the beginning. You know what I mean?
of course, yeah.
So yeah, and I wore myself out worrying about the wrong things, like when I should have just gotten me an administrative assistant and not had to worry about all the administrative things that I'm not extremely well organized. So with that and being an entrepreneur do not mix at all.
Man, don't I know it?
Like it sinks your ship.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, that's why I had to find like the least common denominator of organization for myself, and then just stick to that. And what I did was, yeah, go ahead,
Well, see, that's
brother.
I just stick. Sorry. I just stick to selling my vision because like that's what I'm good at. Like I can make you see my vision like through the way I explain things and show and like give you here samples of this and here's mechanical drawings I did of it and like you can feel that I can project that energy and give you that like that the vision and be like yeah and get excited about it. Like that's what I'm good at.
You can transmit I mean, I already feel it. I already know. I mean, I got it. I definitely connected with that. You transmit your enthusiasm really easily just because it's flowing so much out of you. It's
Well,
it's
that's it being 11.
whenever you're passionate about it. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. You wrote me that little note while I was talking to Andrea. Is that your destiny? The number from your birth date is 11.
That's my life
Your
path.
life
That's
path.
my life
Yeah.
path is 11.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Double number the master number. All right.
Mhm. And 22 is a massive number
Yep.
too.
I mean, you could say that they go all the way up to 99, but a lot of numerologists don't ever say that. They usually stop around 4. Some people stretch it to 5. 55 as being the
Actually,
yeah.
actually, what most people don't know is historically, it was the Chinese that actually, um, from what was recovered from historical records, it was actually the Chinese centered numerology was the oldest because it got passed down from another. Uh, it got passed down to the Chinese actually by like an older like they want to say like Atlantean civilization, like
Uh,
what I mean, like something that predated,
yeah, they
like
like a proto civilization or something like that they call them.
mhm
Yeah.
mhm.
Proto civilization that
So yeah,
seeded the Chinese
I actually have a
men. Yeah.
right. I think they call them the Builder race or something.
Oh, right. I've heard that term before too. Builder races. Yeah. Um, and so, but back to what I was really hearing, what I felt a lot of strength coming from you was when you were talking about how, you really have a vision and you really have a goal and you know you have to stick with it and you may not be terribly organized, but you're focused on the vision. And I was just sharing with you, I think that you could pick, like I said, the least common denominator of organization. But I mean, I think just from hearing you speak and it's getting a general, quick feel, I don't think it's going to take that much for you. But I don't live in your head, so I don't know how anxious you get sometimes, if at all. But
Well, see, like the thing is that I don't share very often is actually I have so many ideas. It's like a constant chain react. Being an inventor, so you have all
yeah,
this knowledge I've been storing for 5 years, and then like in the last 2 years, like I recently just started having like these chain reaction of ideas explosion. Like, oh yeah, I got an idea for that. I know how we can improve that.
yeah,
I know how we can, and it does not stop. It's like a chain reaction, and it almost makes you crazy because you can't turn off. Like even if you want to
I
turn your brain
totally
off, like you'd
understand
be
it,
so tired, working for 48 hours straight, and you're just like your ideas wake you up again. Like just the vision, the clarity of the vision will like literally like just reinvigorate you. You know what I mean?
bro. I have 10 websites online and 10 podcasts, and I have 8 more domains that I haven't even launched yet. So I know, man. I
Bro, you talking to somebody that got 11 email addresses on their personal cell phone?
oh man. Oh boy.
Have you ever heard of Z Library? Because you
Yeah.
said you go to Barnes and Nobles.
I have, but I don't know why I know that. The C library.
That's a depository of 9,800,000 books
Is it the ones that
on
have been
PDF.
digitized? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Because no, there's another one that I found, something Libris or something. Ex-Libris?
Yeah, no,
No?
the Z library is the most legit though.
Okay. Yeah.
It's set up in a non copyright infringement country, but it's set up as a nonprofit. So like the only
Okay.
way they get it is from donation. The only way they get
Yeah.
money is from donation.
Right. I know on one of my websites I have a link
So
to one of those sites like that. Actually, I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, what were you saying about
well,
it?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you and shit. Yeah. Anyway, so like you can get it if you donate like $10 a month, you can get unlimited downloads. So like,
It's not
but
bad.
if you sign up with the email, you can get 10 downloads per day.
Wow.
Just use more than one email.
Dude, I would be reading so many books.
Bro,
I have like
there's the
500
Library of
books
Congress.
on my one of my tablets right now. Yeah.
Bro, I'm a data hoarder. Like I got physics. Like I feel like P Diddy. Like I got physics books that I ain't even read yet.
Right.
Like
There you go.
I
They
put
ain't even
like
read
the
yet.
recent one I'm reading now
Yeah.
is from 2022, and it's so good that I actually stopped reading in one of my other books because it was
Huh.
that good.
What's it called?
Yeah, like um Gateway to Condensed Matter Physics and Bioinformatics.
Gateway to Condensed Matter Physics and Biochromatics?
Informatics.
Bioinformatics. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gateway to compressed matter or condensed matter physics. Condensed matter physics.
condensed.
Gotcha. Gateway to condensed matter physics and bioinformatics. All right. Um, I think I get
Yep,
a
2022.
periodical, but it's Bioinformatics International, or is that Biotechniques International? I know I get a Bioinformatics magazine.
Well, I'm a member of the International Physics Society or American Physics Society, and I'm
Sweet.
a member of. Yeah, I paid for this month. I paid for this right. Like I'm poor as shit, and I paid for these two subscriptions.
You're
I
the
paid for
kind
the
of person because you know what's important to you. That's
International
why.
Engineer Society, because their magazine is all the articles are written by people like they're doing PhD thesis stuff.
Yeah, and
So
you'd
like
go
all of the
crazy without
magazines.
access to that. You have to have a
Well,
source.
they just wrote something on control system theory, bro. Like I actually started out my talk about control system theory with one of their articles that they sent me. Like it was written by a scholar. So it's really good.
Control systems theory.
But because
Speaking
of
of,
the way that I go ahead.
no, just systems theory is a very interesting connection to um, the ether physics, especially some of the Zabatini uh, reactions, Zabatini-Belatov reactions
Yeah,
in
I'm
chemistry.
familiar.
Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, that's. I lost my train of thoughts just for a moment, but um, yes. Oh, you were talking about so there's ether reaction. Forget what I was saying. A tensor, no. Something you said just reminded me of
You talking about like a Hamilton vector space or something like that?
no, but it's all right. It'll come back as we converse. Um, so in your goals, what's the next step that you feel like you need to take to make the next move forward? Like, what do you want to do next?
Well, tomorrow, well, actually today, this evening, I am actually making my pitch video, because
Uh-huh.
I'm not putting together. I've been struggling trying to put together a pitch deck
Yeah,
for startup incubators forever. So I said F that, come at it a completely different way, because I got obsessive and I kept moving like things over by an inch, and I was like, no, it's not right, and I would just scrap the whole thing and start again, and I did that like 100 times.
yeah.
So I'm like, all right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna loophole the system. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make is most professional I can YouTube video with me, clean fresh shirt, bow tie, and I'm gonna pitch my idea, my outline for the company, the projected goals, and how we're gonna meet those projected goals, and how we're gonna implement, not only how we're gonna implement the system, but how we're gonna scale the system as well. So it's like I'm not just giving you here's a solution to a problem. I'm like, here's how you implement it and scale it. So here's you get the whole thing
And you're
because a lot of
gonna
times people just come to an answer to a question.
and you're
You know
gonna
what I mean? Like,
record it, right? So you said you're gonna record it.
yeah, I'm recorded, uploaded to YouTube.
It's a great idea, I think. It's like
Yeah, and then
proof of
I'm just gonna hit the
concept.
contact. I'm gonna hit the I'm just gonna hit the contact them because like all the web pages have a contact us, and I'm just gonna paste
Yeah,
that right in there. Be like, please watch my pitch video.
yeah.
That way I won't have to sit and apply because at that point then they'll be calling me.
Well, do you have anybody that does any first contact for you? Like, are you working with a communications person?
A media head? No.
Yeah. Well, I'm offering to help out if you need it. Not as a paid service. I just want to help you. So, um,
Yeah, I also do. I do innovation. I actually branded myself as an innovation consultant.
yeah,
So
nice.
like I do contract. Yeah, you like that? You like that title, huh?
Hell yeah.
So um
Well, what I
so
mean is
what it
just to
is
show
that
like, that you have a team behind you. Not that I need to do anything, except follow your
no, what I
lead.
really
Yeah.
need, and I'm actually taking up family members right now to form a C corp because I need a president, secretary, and a treasurer,
Well, yeah. Yeah,
and
big deal.
I will only be CEO. I won't be acting public head. I'll be CTO, Chief Technology Officer.
Yep. Yep.
That way I can have autonomy in the company, and also um we're going to keep it private and build it as large as we can and before and then once it goes IPO, then I want to sell my division and I want to start a biotech company. So I
Biotech.
actually have a huge dream. Like bro, I got a blueprint I could show you. Like you would be like, come over to my house, bro, and look at my walls on my thing, and you could see like you would
Oh,
see
you
sketches and
got
mocks and stuff like that.
you got a
Custom
command
timeline.
center, huh? You got a command center. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to get the command center going. Get the plans up on the wall, man. Draw it out. Total domination.
But see, the thing is that I don't see because I can visualize really complex things like I told you. Like I
Yep.
don't lose that. Like some
Right.
people they'll still have an image and they can see something for a little bit, but they can't. It doesn't stick. Like me, once I'm able to visualize it in its entirety, like that's it,
Hmm.
bro. It's like seared into my memory. Like I could just go off the top of my head. Like you'd be like, where's he pulling all this crap from? Like you just keep switching it up. Like
What about
it.
can you render reproductions like in drawings or sketches as well?
I do mechanical drawing actually.
Okay.
I don't do any digital.
No,
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
my
That's what I'm
mom
talking
actually
about. Yeah.
she used to be a drafter
Uh-huh.
back in the old
Okay.
cut and paste days.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I inherited like her tools. So I actually have like, you know what I'm saying? Like I
I
have a
still
lot of
do a
like
lot of cut
little
and pasting myself, man.
stencils. I have like circle
Stencils.
stencils
Yep.
and square stencils and stuff like that. And I have like
Tools of the
4
trade.
different types of rulers.
Yep.
Yep, T square, all that stuff. Yep.
Tools of the trade, man. I was just telling my friend Chris the other day too about how I used to make my own little newsletters and magazines, and basically they would just be a standard letter paper folded in half, and that would automatically give me four sides to work with, and I would just like draw and decorate it all kinds of ways and make a little book, and people would think, oh, that's stupid. That's just like one of those stupid greeting cards. I was like, but no, man. But I used to make like my little book, like little books with it, and that was my thing. And I eventually actually uh, gave out like hundreds of this little chapbook of haiku poetry back in like 2005.
Awesome. See, like I don't have the patience to write. Like, see, this is my thing is I'm like one of those people. Like I shit you not. Like right now, if you get like, let's say I went and played the lottery, right, and I won $1 million. You know what the first thing I would do with it is? I'll call up a
Uh,
staffing agency and say I need five executive. Seriously, with all seriousness, I call them up and say I need five executive administrative assistants, the best you got
well, so,
tomorrow morning.
so you'd just be getting the business launched like that. You'd be like, oh, okay, I got this money, time to launch the business.
Yup, yup. No seed round necessary. Bye.
Right. Yeah, you don't need any seed rounds. Not with that. You know, you
Nope. We go to prototype, the full deal. then we go to the machine shop and start prototyping the design.
So
So it's not secret. I'm actually gonna build. I'm gonna build the world's largest drone shipping and delivery logistics system
it's going to be drone
with
operated.
automated. Yep.
So
And the thing that's gonna kill you about this, check this out.
so you
This is
said
what you're gonna
delivery and
love.
logistics. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. Just making sure.
Platform. So it also helps because it'll feed into into because I have to integrate the system into their current warehousing system, which I already have a solution for, by the way. So like, anyways, but the real goal on the pod is that like the self-driving network that will be eventually put up, like in its entirety, like it'll be, a complex system, with that has that trained itself off
When
of,
do
running early routes and into the ability to be able to autonomously run itself, like the company.
when do you see
Like
that being
I'm
fully
real.
functional?
Put it like this: right now, if you were the pitch person that was talking to you right now about it, I tell you I could have it off the ground in less than a year
Okay.
if you fund it correctly. Done, like 11 months done,
Well, that's pretty
from
incredible.
prototype to launch, bro.
That's
Because
some
I know
Iron
how to
Man shit
because I
right
know how to
there.
work. Because I know how to scale things. Like once you understand how to
Yeah.
scale things, see
Yes.
now this, like for instance, also you have to not only scale, but you have to vertically integrate every
Well,
component of
that's the
your
best use
company.
of the space. Oh, hey, you know what? Um, Angelina, I see you there, um, in the queue. Um, anyway, Marshall, I was just acknowledging Angelina real quick, just letting her know. All right, go
Oh no,
ahead,
you're
brother.
good.
Angela, I'll be with you in a minute. Um, so,
Yeah, yeah. I'll step off in a second. Like I'm cool with listening. I don't always have to be the one talking.
nah,
It's always
man. And
enjoyed
you know, you were up
to
here
see the
before.
vibe
You can
together.
come back anytime you want, man. I just want to make sure I give space for everybody, and especially I want to talk to Angelina too. So, but yeah, so you said uh, when this pitch, you could get it fully functional within a year. That was like,
Less
yeah,
than a
in less
year.
than a year.
Less than a year. Yep. Software backend, AI done. Hardware
And so,
prototyping done.
and so we're talking about
Yep.
like it would be fully functional drone delivery and logistics.
Then I'll be having the machine shops sending the raw components, and then we just have a set we can assemble on site anywhere locally if
Nice.
needed be. The only thing about it is that, see, this is what's going to kick you. You're gonna be like, what? I actually, with that pipe, you're actually buying.
Uh-oh. Maybe give it a moment, Marshall. I'm not hearing you right now. Maybe everybody else could hear you, but kind of kind of fizzled out again there. But we'll give it a couple seconds, and then if I don't hear from you, Marshall, I don't hear you yet, but maybe everybody else does. It's just an artifact. Sometimes it happens. Oh, I'm starting to hear you
But
again.
yeah,
Oh, there we go.
okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I just stopped where I was. It's fine. I'm actually going to be. They're actually going to have to co-found the groundbreaking on a solid state battery factory that I will be developing, and then actually once I leave that company, I'll be keeping that as a parent company because I'll need it for
Solid
other
state,
solid state batteries. Yes,
as
graphene based
opposed to
solid state batteries.
so as opposed to like liquid cell or dry cell.
It's well, it's more of like a jelly.
Okay. Yeah. Um, man. So okay. All right. Listen. Let's hold that. Let's put a pin in that real quick, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah, you know me because I can run it. Like I can be like, oh, I'm taking over show now. Sorry guys, bye. You shouldn't have
And
jumped in the queue. I'm sorry about your leg.
and
Bye. No, I'm kidding.
and you shall.
No, you're good, bro. I'm totally good. I can land my plane. I'm out at my 4 a.m. Walk and run.
All right,
So
brother.
you caught me at a good time.
So yeah, let's catch up again soon. Let me see. Did I send you a message? I'm gonna. Yeah. So we got the back channel messages. Good,
Yes.
good, good. All right. Yeah, keep in touch, man. If you're hanging around a little bit, maybe we'll get back to you later before I go. Oh my gosh, I have to go to work soon. All right, but man, my brother, it's so great talking to you. We're gonna geek out for a long time on physics.
What's your number, by the way? You didn't tell me.
It's my five, numeral five.
The life path.
The birth date is five, and the my alpha numerics, my name is nine. 5 and 9.
Marshall. I have the same number of letters in my first name as my last name.
We're gonna have to do a reading for you, the full one. Yeah, we'll do that.
bro, you know who my spirit guide is? They told me. I found out this from somebody else.
Who's that?
My physicist grandma. Like that's who watches over
Oh
me.
wow, that's
Like
pretty
by my like
cool.
walks with me. Yo, it's crazy, dude. I didn't even know. Like I was totally oblivious to it forever.
But that's the coolest thing, man. Your spirit guide is your physicist grandma. It's perfect.
Yep, and she's quiet. She
Hmm.
don't never talk to me. She's quiet.
Does she? How does?
She's like the bouncer, just sitting there, like what?
So one
She's
last
very stern. She's very strong, old woman, like 50s. Like strong 50s woman.
so one last thing before you pop off temporarily. What is one of the main things that physicist grandma does to send a message to you or to get your attention?
That's personal.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, we will, and as some things should be. So, oh man, Marshall, I'm so glad that we got to meet today and we got to hang out for a little while. So if you're sticking around, like I said, you can come back anytime.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna,
awesome, bro.
yeah,
You're
brother.
awesome. You're awesome human
So are
being.
you, man. That's what I'm saying. And if you're still around, feel free to come back anytime. And but yeah, I'm gonna be.
Don't set it up as a challenge because I'll just be like you be like I'm at work right now, but I'm on.
No, but I was just
Yeah.
about to say I'm gonna be looking for you and popping in your rooms and stuff. So you watch out.
Oh me, bro, what you talking about? You don't set up as a challenge. You pop in my room, I'll be like, sit here, I'll read physics all day with these people until the
Dude,
app crashes. They
we're
only
gonna
let
have
me do like 2.5 hours until they crash the app on me. They're like, no,
we're gonna have
you done
to
reading right now.
we're gonna have
They
to write
make me take a break.
some more manuals and books. We're gonna have to publish some books up
They
in here.
make me take a break. That's why they crash my app. So they make me take a break because they're
Yeah,
like,
man.
yo, he'll marathon that thing.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. All right. All right,
All right,
later.
peace.
Wait. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see if hey there, Miss Angelina Frost. Uh,
Hello, I'm
welcome.
turning down my music. Hi, how's it going?
How are you? It's going great, considering uh, it's the sun is coming up now sometime soon. Um, I love,
Well,
I love meeting the sun, meeting the dawn. How are you
good
doing?
good morning to you. I am doing well. I'm staying up later than I wanted to. I'm not really sure why I tuned into the app, but I felt like I just had to be here, so that's what I'm doing. You were
Well,
talking,
I'm
you were talking
so glad you did.
that that number stuff, and it always gets my attention. I have a young woman that I mentor who is into numerology, but she's learning it,
Uh,
But she
so is
told
she really like zealous about it right now? Is she like really excited about it?
well, there was a time in the not too distant past where she was, yeah, all over it. And now you can tell that she's like integrated it because she's really casual with it. And when she talks about it, and yeah, so she's like,
See,
she's comfortable
I'm
with it. She's like immersed herself
yeah,
in it. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it, but I've never gotten over that. Like, I still have that initial excitement, but I've always been like that with so many things in my life, where it just never loses its novelty. and sometimes it even just increases to more of a frenzy where it almost seems like I I don't know, it borderlines on an obsession, but
Yeah,
I,
she has
I cannot.
pockets of time when she gets super obsessed about it. And it's kind of like all she's talking about since she picked it up. But yeah, you can just tell that it's like in there, like it's a part of the fabric of her, of how she thinks now and how she looks at stuff. It's cool. So,
It's fun
so
because it
you,
has a lot of little tricks in it, and it's really fun because it lets you play with numbers. I think everybody
yeah,
wants to play with numbers.
yeah,
Let's play
numbers are
with your
fun.
numbers.
Okay, well, she's told me that I am a six. I have a life path six. And then she said that there's like
How
another
dare
number.
she? Um,
um,
so just all I need is your month and a day to do
December 8th,
a reading.
12/8.
Another another December. For some reason, the 12 just always is fascinated me. But let's see, 12 and 8, of course, is 20, and then wow, that's wow, that's really cool,
And then
man.
and then
I have a
1966. I don't
I
know
have
if
a
you need the whole number.
story. Well, yeah, that gives me a completely a broader perspective now. But what I just got hit with is pretty cool because I was talking to Andrea earlier about doing a little show, a segment specifically on numerology. And I told her that I have a story. I'm telling you now too about something that happened with numerology that will make you levitate. It is just it's so unlikely and uncanny and just ridiculous in ways that you can't even imagine. Like that at first you wouldn't think that would be like a surprising thing, but then just how it happens is like, oh, those are just numerals or just quantities that just happen to show up, but the way that they show up and how they did is just it's so and anyway, they revolve around the numeral 8, which is what vibration you're working with right now. And
Oh,
just considering some of the things that I've heard before and some of the life changes that you're making, it's very interesting.
huh.
Um, as you've been speaking, because so we've got the 12 and the 8, right, which is a 20, um, and then you have the 21, which makes okay, 12 and 20. Yeah, you got 20, and then you have the 20, 21. You got six. Am I doing this right here? Hold on. 20, 20, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, so five right there. 5 plus
What's the
2,
221?
7. Oh, sorry, 2021, because that's the last year that your most recent birthday, or
Oh, the recent
the
birthday is
the
2021.
last birthday. Yes, the
Yes.
last birthday is 2021. So you have your 20 plus a 7. Plus, I mean, sorry, 20 plus a 5, which is a 25, which is a 7. And so you have your 8 numeral years coming up in your birthday this year. The 7 energy that you're operating under right now is what prepares you for this power, money, and fame, this 8 number. And the reason why it's so exciting is because it's right when I found out, when I started doing these numerals, when I first really decided to put it to the test, it was before the 8 year started, my 8 personal year, which is like yours is coming up. That's why it's so exciting because there's things you can do to prepare to kind of see. The way I like to look at it is that it's
Uh-oh,
more
your voice
a
disappeared.
da da dee da da.
Oh no, Hakeem, where'd you go?
Hi.
Okay, there you are. I hear you now.
All right.
The last
Um,
words I heard come out of your mouth was there are things that you can do.
yeah, well, there are, yes, there are things you can do leading up to n- your numeral 8 personal vibration for the year that's coming up that helps to align you to be in the most favorable position to work with the energy. Because one thing I know that you already understand this because I've heard you speak, but it's not that any of these numerals or astrology or anything actually dictates anything for us, but it gives us a path that a good structure that we can follow. And so there are just things that you can look at with stuff that you already know of. Maybe if you're more familiar with astrology, you can see how they link up and things like that. But um, it's paying attention and making certain plans during certain times. Like so, um, 7 year. This month is 8, so 7 plus 8. Because your personal vibration that you're under now for your year is 7, and
Right.
7 is a spiritual number. It's intuition, it's spirituality, it's humanitarian, and it's also a number where you would do things like meditate or study or learn. So all of those things are related in that 7 vibration, that numeral 7 vibration. So starting from your
Well, you know
birthday in
what? I'll tell you,
December.
I've probably meditated since a little bit before my birthday through
Mm,
now more than ever cumulatively in my life. And I've been meditating since I started meditating in 1989.
mm,
And
okay.
that's probably not true. I've probably done a lot of meditating through the years, but I have to say that my meditation practice, like the other day, I had a clear day and I got up, I did my morning routine, and then I sat back down and I meditated for 5 hours. And I couldn't even believe that that amount of time had passed. But I meditate regularly, at least twice a day, because I always meditate in the morning when I get up. Like that's part of my morning routine. And then I
Mm.
meditate before I go to sleep too. And then I meditate in between sometimes just because that's what the time calls
Well,
for.
just cause, yeah, that's what time
Yep.
calls for.
I mean,
Now,
I can get in quick, so
yeah, when you when you meditate, do you do the old standards like taking some deep breaths and closing your eyes?
it doesn't really take that much. I close my eyes and I
Yeah.
sit up straight,
Hmm.
and I do things with my breath, but I, especially in this past, like I'm offloading a bunch of, I mean, really, its roots are trauma, but I'm having different encounters with certain personality formations that kind of
Yes.
formed around trauma. Yeah. So I'm kind of just, I feel like I've been untangling a whole new wad of wires that I've come upon in this
That's an interesting
past, like,
analogy.
it's coming upon a year because this really kicked
Yeah.
into high gear in like October for me. December was super thick and intense. Super, super duper. Coming into the beginning
And
of this year, super
when
intense.
when you say that, do you mean is it because of how you're processing things or because of external
The
circumstances?
stuff was getting brought to the surface that had been kind of waiting for me to get to, but um yeah, just like a
So
whole
something
bunch
else
of,
was in the way?
yeah, it'll be in May of 2023 began like a decade. In 2013 a bunch of stuff happened that was like really intense, and then a bunch of other stuff happened. There was just a bunch of family stuff going on, and my man and I had been traveling and we came back to help out with things that kind of just went from being hard to being like really, really hard. And after
Yeah.
we came out of that in 2016, we were like stripped in a certain
Mm.
sense and had to kind of just go back to square one. And we'd left a company and a land purchase kind of behind, and some choices that were being really driven by trauma that happened in 2013, but I wasn't really fully present to that because of all the other stuff that happened after it. And then anyway, in 2016 my man got sick and then he died in 2017. And so I've been coming through that, and as I came into October of last year I hit this like big pocket of stuff that brought all of the stuff that had happened before he got sick, like way back when we stopped traveling and came back to help my family. And yep, that was an intense one
You already
because
know that doesn't go away, right?
Yeah, well, it can't go away. It's a part of me, like, but I can integrate the experience without integrating,
Ah, there you
without
go.
without
You
carrying the
see?
trauma, you know? But like
Art.
the trauma is it already like the only reason that the trauma was as impactful as it was is because it hit deeper patterns in me that had until recently been completely undetected. So, I've been doing a lot of meditating and untangling this wad of wires, and it's been good.
Like
Like
a
I've grown a
like a
lot.
lion like a lion with some yarn.
Yeah, kind of like that. A wad of crossed wires.
Hmm.
Yeah, but like working with trauma is really intense, but I have tools.
How is trauma these days?
And how is trauma these days? Trauma is abating. I feel like I'm getting to the crux of stuff that I've literally been carrying with me my entire life because it's in the DNA. It's more like
Yeah.
generational and family, like not just
Wow.
the generational, but yeah, like the
Right.
family stuff, and then past life stuff, which is
Yeah.
that's been a part of my life. My awareness of how to interact with that has been in
Hmm.
my life since the early 90s.
Okay. I only discovered it in the early 2000s, but it wasn't even personally. I actually don't even know if I've ever had. I don't if I recall any of those, but my first clinical hypnosis clients both had some pretty major past life experiences.
Hmm. I bet that's interesting for you who hasn't really had that
No, but it
maybe
was.
much.
I mean, I experienced it with one of them while I was working with her. Um, the way she was seated, I was off to her right, but slightly kind of behind her. And as I was looking towards her and talking, I started to see scenes of the things that she was describing very
Wow.
clearly.
Wow.
And so that was pretty awesome. But the thing that really kicked it into gear was when I left her in one room and went across the clinic to another room. And now these are sound controlled rooms. And it's on the other side of a big middle like island that connects from the ceiling to the floor. It's basically a wall, it's a big divider, and there's different suites, therapy suites on the other side. And anyway, her friend started describing the same streets and everything like this, and I'm just thinking to
Oh, very
myself, this
interesting.
I'm like, I don't understand what is happening and why, and it's like almost like I carried something through there, like some kind of connection. But
Uh,
anyway, there's a whole lot of those things that I'll get to at some other point in time. I mean, I have
that's
uh,
fascinating. I want to make
some
sure I get to
tales.
hear. Yeah, I want to hear your
Yeah,
tales. I bet you got some good ones.
they're interesting. They've often confused me sometimes, and so I'll just say this about them is I write a lot about my lucid dreaming states and uh, out of body travel. And at the end of one like review of, because sometimes I go back and I look at the work that I've written and I just kind of take notes or kind of just muse on it. And one time I wrote a little thing at the end of once when I was talking about, astral travel and sleep paralysis and all this stuff. And I said, so the question is, did I really travel out of my body or am I just out of my mind? And so that's been, the question sometimes because I don't know, I gaslight myself, I guess. Sometimes it's the self-doubt
Yeah,
is
well,
ridiculous.
be kind with yourself because we are multidimensional creatures. We are
Yeah.
multidimensional existences. We're already existing in multiple dimensions, even right now as we speak, without even really noticing that that's what's happening because it hasn't been like our full awarenesses haven't been included in. We have the language for it, but we don't take the time to actually match the language around it with the
Mm,
actual experiences that people are actually having. So a lot of people are having these experiences that they don't really make a connection with a concept about.
hmm
And so then they just don't know what they're experiencing, and
Ah,
just kind of it just goes like it just goes out of their awareness, mainly because we as a collective don't acknowledge the more sublime messages that we're getting all the time from all of the dimensions that we exist within. You know, there's the third, there's the fourth, there's the fifth. Like, we are fifth dimensional creatures in our essence.
get a lot of them. I don't. So a lot of them I don't
KRS
like.
One does a good is a good talk. Well, you know, there's like your existence as an essence, your concentration of consciousness is non-physical.
Yeah, and they mess with that a lot.
Right. So there are things that you can do to ensure your, you know, consciously ensure your protection as you're traveling,
Oh,
not like
you okay? When you see the stuff that I've been doing, you'll chuckle too. Um, I have a whole series. I made a whole thing about it where I was using Metatron's cube, and I was focusing energy through it and blasting, just messing with aliens and making them become visible and stuff like that. It's like a whole. It's hilarious. Um, I'll just.
oh my God.
I do, because also role playing, I've learned even if things are not, for example, real, by doing role playing and exchanging energy that way has been very helpful for a lot of things too. I do
Well, see,
that a
that's the
lot.
thing. Like, real is a very ambiguous concept
Sure. Yeah.
because, like, we've trained we're trained in our thinking to refer to that which is three-dimensional and solid that we can touch and interact with as quote unquote real. However, because your essence of as your being, you are not you, your three-dimensional expression is an expression, but the essence of your being is not physical.
Sure.
And so how to kind of negotiate and include that essence stuff, that's kind of what everybody around here is like trying to figure out, you know, like
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, wait, are you about to give me an answer? Oh no.
no, I mean, well, everybody has, you know, everybody has their own ways, you know. Like
Yeah.
like for me in my meditation practice these days, where I go is directly into my sensory awareness. Like,
Hmm.
where that like sensory awareness includes where we experience emotions, right?
Mm.
And what they're called doesn't matter as much as the actual sensations. And if they are
Right.
anything other than light or kind of fluid, like if there's any kind of denseness or contraction or achiness or even sharpness sometimes, if there are any like really sensations that you can really feel and notice when you put your awareness into your your insides, then that's your system showing you of where energy isn't flowing. And so the
Okay. So
way
it's
you can,
congestion.
it's congestion, it's energetic congestion. And because of the relationship that we have inherited, learned literally from the world with regard to our emotions get congested because what we do in this world as we interact with them is we name them, we conceptualize them, we tell stories about them, we judge them, we resist them, we judge ourselves, and what else? And anyway, all of that kind of amounts to us like effectively blocking emotional energy from just doing what it's designed to do, which is move emotion. It's mostly like think about it. It's like the most of the word is
Energy,
emotion,
motion.
energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
I heard you say
motion
that
being the
before too.
operative, right?
Yes. It's gotta
And
move.
it's energy. So, you know, and the sensations are there to let it's your system's way of letting you know where to pull your attention toward. It's a call to
Yes.
it's a call toward yourself. And what we
Okay.
usually do in response to them is we learn, because we're all born knowing how to have a hard feeling, right? an unpleasant sensation. We're all born knowing
Sure.
how to do that, but we
Yeah.
learn how to do something different. And that something different is what I see, like that it's a mental activity, because what we'll do is we'll use our mind to either ignore or judge or tell stories or whatever, instead of just sensing it so that it can pass, which is really
Hmm.
that's all that's required. And sensing it can require some attention, right? And sometimes if it's an
Yes.
unpleasant sensation, it requires concentration of
Mm.
attention so that it can just go ahead and move. It's a real pain is a call to love. Fear is call to love. Any flavor of fear which causes pain, right? Or some
I feel like you just
unpleasant.
gave me an acupuncture session.
What taught me about emotions was the practice of emotional freedom techniques, which is a person, an auto interaction with all of the meridians by tapping on different
Deals with
points.
tapping? Yeah.
Tapping. Yeah.
So you know I went to Hogwarts, right?
Did you? I taught
There's a
there.
there's a school in Tarzana, California called the
Called
Hypnosis
Hogwarts.
Mode of yeah. But on the surface, if you don't do the right spell, it says Hypnosis Motivation Institute. And it was founded somewhere in 1967 by a guy
Oh,
named
wow.
John Kappas. It's the first nationally accredited college of hypnosis, and that's
Wow.
where I had my clinical residency and how I got into doing the hypnosis for past life experiences with my two first clients. And
Without
anyway,
intending to. That's just where they went.
well, no, actually that was the intention, but I didn't believe it. Um, I was just doing it because, okay, so now I'm gonna have to tell this little backstory so I started the school on November 4th of 2000, no, yes, November 4th of 2004. And then on November 24th of 2004, I was at a friend's house and we had like this sleepover with my friend Kevin. A bunch of us stayed over, and in the morning we woke up and we were all eating, and our friend Heather, her other friend was there who I don't know, I don't remember what her name was, but she wanted to be hypnotized because she heard that I went to school for it. So I opened up the
Whoa.
the Professional Hypnotism Manual by Dr. John G. Kappas and read it line for line and did everything they said that we had learned in the school because they were all practicums. We were either being hypnotized or hypnotizing other people and hypnotizing each other every day, all day while we went to school to learn how to do hypnosis. And this girl went into a deep somnambulistic state, they call it, and and everybody was just like, what is going on right now? Like, no, none of us had ever seen that before. But I had
Wow.
to happen to be the person holding the spell book. You know what I mean? So I looked like some wizard, like making this girl take her hand and just touch her face and sit there with her eyes completely closed and just still like she was sleeping. It was just like, but it's not sleep. But what is going on here? And it's just, anyway. So that, uh, as you can see, I get all excited about when that first time when it was just, I was like reliving it just now. Um, but that kind of thing it's just fascinating to learn how your mind, my mind, everyone's mind, that we can do so much when we decide that we can take control of it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the trick, is training the mind to attend to what you want it to attend to and in a constructive way. Because the
It's
mind
a very difficult
likes to
trick.
do puzzles, the mind likes to create, and the collective consciousness is so polluted that our minds seem very unruly.
So do
Because the
you
collective
recommend
meditating,
more meditation? Yeah,
lots of meditation.
I don't I don't do enough of it. I really do need to.
It helps because it either brings you deeply inward, where that vast inner space lives, and you can keep yourself well tuned, clears out the channel, makes it so that you don't second guess what's coming through you. You just allow it. And the other benefit is that you can clear up what we refer to as karma, which, by the way, I'm just going to take this moment to quickly define what karma is. There's no such thing as good or bad karma. Like if you go
All
around
right.
being in a
Lay
good
it on
way,
me.
if you go around being in the world in a good way, that goodness is naturally going to come toward you. If, however, you're going around being in the world in a good way, but you're doing so from a place of feeling obliged, that reflects that there is an internal grudge being held against yourself. And you could have learned it. You might have inherited it. You might have learned that that's the way to interact with yourself. But those private grudges against our own selves amount to our own karma. It's not really anything about what you do or be
So
in the outside world. It's really
is
very
it
much about your internal relationship. Yeah.
is it related to guilt?
If there is guilt going on, then there's a chance that you're holding a grudge against yourself for, it could be a litany of things and it could be a past life thing, right? Or it
Mm,
could be that you just were born into a family that felt guilty, that carried guilt, and you just automatically learned that guilt is a way of being. Just
mm,
because we vibrate at the vibrations of our family and our immediate communities. We just naturally do that. We're hardwired to do it. That's part of our animal self, is that we're hardwired to belong. So we'll belong with whatever system we're a part of. We will quickly find a way to do that, even if it means sacrificing parts of ourselves or truth.
mm.
Yeah, that happens.
Sacrificing parts of ourselves sounds like an animal getting its leg trapped into a rock and frees
Well,
itself under
it
by
kind
any
of,
means necessary.
we're that's kind of where childhood trauma comes from, is where we learn to take their truth over our own knowing of ourselves, and we abandon the truth of ourself. And if somebody tells us a story, our innocent self, that we are being selfish or stingy, then in that moment we will take their truth about us, which is usually a projection, right? Because we're just an innocent
Hmm.
little kid learning how to be in the world. We're mimicking what we see happening, right? So then if we pick up a selfish behavior and then get accused of being selfish, that quote unquote truth about
Hmm.
us, as we go into agreement with it, that is an experience of trauma, because we
What
literally
about
abandon ourselves, and we turn on ourselves, and then we learn to feel shamed or guilty. But
what
it's
about
because we
this?
go into an alignment with a non-truth, but we're innocent when we do it, so we don't even, and then it just becomes
Oh,
a part of our identity.
that's interesting what you just said. We go into alignment with a non-truth.
Yeah,
What kind
because
of
we're
thing is that?
energetic creatures, so we energetically just go into alignment with whatever lowercase truth is
Hmm.
vibrationally available.
Huh. Like
So when you think about a
like
lot of generations of what I call pseudo Christians,
hmm,
because they might like talk the talk, but they don't necessarily live the walk, right?
yeah.
And when you
I
got a lot
mean,
of that,
that's
when you
what
got, yeah, yeah.
you know. I just these are things that as a child I don't understand seeing. It's like, okay, this person who reads this book and has this lucky charm, is supposed to be this way, but it's not. That's the kind of very simple equation that plays out,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
and that is a really